What's up, guys? Dennis here, Do It All Garage. So I've got this '03 XR70, okay, kind of halfway torn apart, I guess. Just got the gas tank and seat off, really. I cleaned the carb on it. This carb had been sitting with gas in it, I would guess a minimum of 4 or 5 years. It was one of the worst I've seen. It looked like it had sand in it. I mean, the gas just completely ate the inside of the bowl of the carburetor. It was really pitted. I cleaned it, I soaked it, I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I even blasted it with some aluminum oxide, and I got it to where it looked pretty clean. And I did put a carb kit in it with a new float needle and bowl gasket and all that. And I put it back on the bike, as you can see right there, and got it back on there, and the bike actually ran pretty good. I was trying to warm it up, get it to idle right, and adjust the pilot fuel mixture screw, and the bowl just started leaking gas everywhere. So instead of taking this thing apart 3 or 4 times, or maybe 10 more times, I've gone through this before. If this carburetor were $400 or more, maybe even $300, I'd probably go through the trouble of doing that to save the money. But a brand new carburetor for this bike on Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com is like $110 shipped to my door. And it is a brand new Honda OEM carburetor. It's not a cheap Chinese knockoff or anything like that. So I wanted to get this thing ready for my son. He's never ridden a gas-powered dirt bike. He's got the little electric Razor dirt bikes, and he loves those. But I ended up picking this bike up for $100, so I didn't mind spending another $100 on a carburetor. In my previous video, I showed you that I did the fuel petcock on it, and that works fine. It doesn't leak or anything. It works great. So I figured it was worth putting an extra $100 into if it'll make it run really good. So let's get started. All right, guys. So this is the unboxing of the carburetor that I ordered. I've never had any issues with Rocky Mountain. They've always been spot on as far as their, shipping and tracking, customer service, everything like that. In the rare event that something was on back order with them, I've always gotten a phone call, that sort of thing. So I've been dealing with them for years. They're not a sponsor of mine or anything like that. I just wanted to pass the word along. It's a great place to get motorcycle, ATV, and side-by-side parts. So looks like there's plenty of packaging in there. Here's the actual box that the carburetor came in. There's the Honda part number. It's exactly what I ordered. So let's see. Nicely packaged, sealed up in this plastic. So yeah, looks like exactly what I ordered. That's cool. It even came with a new carburetor drain hose and a new vent line. And looks like I have to go in here and put the throttle cable in there. But looks really clean. It's got all the markings on it. If you can see those, I'll try to get a shot right there. Little yellow and green marks where everything was torqued or turned to spec. One thing I do want to say really quick, if you're not sure which way the choke is, down is off, up is on. See, it closes that little butterfly valve right there. Down is off, up is on. Okay? And the reason I'm telling you that is because once this is on the bike, you're basically going to have an air filter here, and this is where it bolts to the intake pipe where it goes in the motor, and you're not going to be able to tell which way choke is, and there's no indicator on here anywhere. So Again, down is off, up is on. When it's closed, that means the choke is on. All right. Just a quick tip from Do It All Garage. All right, guys, so here's the bike. I've already gotten my tools out just to save a little time. I'm going to be using my Milwaukee ratchet. You can use a regular, 1/4 3/8 drive ratchet. These two bolts up here in front of the carburetor are 8mm. They have 8mm heads on them. And that's what I have on here. I've got a 10mm socket to remove the air box. And I have a number 2 Phillips on my Milwaukee M12 impact driver. So that's what I'm going to use to loosen the air boot, basically from the air box to the carburetor. And I'm going to take all that off. So here we go. All right, guys, I got the tank back on. I got the fuel line back in. There's probably 8 to 12 ounces of gas in that tank. That's why I was shaking the bike back and forth. I was trying to make some gas go into the petcock and go down into the carb. Hopefully there's enough in there to at least start it. So what I'm going to do is turn my fan on. You're not going to be able to hear me very well, but instead of unloading this thing and putting it on the ground, trying to kick start it with my foot, I'm just going to start it with my hand. So here we go. So I think I need to get some more gas, but it does run a heck of a lot better than with that old carburetor on there. And it's not leaking any gas out of the bottom. So anyway, again, I don't normally like to do this, but when I've gone through a carb a couple of times or more, sometimes you just got to cut your losses and buy a brand new carburetor. It can be worth it. Some of them are really expensive. You know, a lot of them are upwards of $500, $600, $800 even on some of them that I've seen. But if a new carburetor is $100, this bike's probably worth $500 to $1,000 on a good day. I paid $100 for it. You know, it's worth putting a little bit of money into to make sure it's going to run right and make sure you're not going to have any carb issues, at least not for a long time. So anyway, I'll probably do another follow-up video of my son riding this thing or something. Probably got a little fine tuning to do on the carburetor maybe. Probably going to change the oil in it and stuff like that. But if you got any questions or comments or anything, feel free to put them in the comment section. I'll get to them as I can. Thanks for watching Do It All Garage, and like and subscribe if you'd be so